And now, distinguished guests, please direct your attention to the entrance as we mark the official start of the show. Join us in welcoming two visionary leaders who have made this extraordinary collaboration between Bugatti and Binghatti possible. Let's have a warm round of applause as we welcome the two CEOs, Mate Rimac from Bugatti Rimac and Mohammed Binghatti from Binghatti. These two visionaries have been at the forefront of shaping the industries they represent, inspiring countless individuals with their vision, leadership, and a relentless pursuit of excellence in their respective fields. Please join us once again in extending a warm welcome to Mate Rimac, CEO, Binghatti Rimac, and Mohammed Binghatti, CEO, Binghatti. And now, distinguished guests, we request you all to please rise for the national anthem. Tonight, we launch not an architectural tour de force. We launch an elevated way of life. But where did this journey begin? Here's a behind-the-scenes look into the collaboration between Bugatti and Binghatti, two legendary brands that inhabit a world where luxury, artistry, and innovation unite.
Bugatti is about so much more than just our range of hypercars. Our founder Ettore Bugatti has applied this vision to everything in his life, and that's the experience of French luxury that we want to open up to a broader audience. Ever since my childhood, I was always inspired by the automotive industry. I always thought such an industry was so far ahead of its time in terms of providing products that are so well designed, so well executed, and really portrayed the power of a brand philosophy. And I think the collaboration with a brand like Bugatti offers the ultimate opportunity to see how far ahead we can get in an industry like real estate by taking inspiration and learning from leading brands such as Bugatti.
I think if anybody can choose to work with somebody, you want that partner to be like-minded, where Mohammed Binghatti and his family have created the iconic brand for real estate in Dubai, having the same kind of view on perfection and design and even the appreciation for the automotive side, and then bringing their view of the real estate and especially the aspect of Dubai to the table to translate our vision, to translate Ettore Bugatti's views and the perfection that he has always tried to translate in his product in the right way for the first Bugatti Residence project.
There's a very similar story to how both brands came to life, a very rooted heritage. Both started off as family businesses. Both brands have a similar story or chronology or narrative, and I think the ultimate vision that both brands are trying to achieve in their respective sectors are very similar, and that is a story of redefining the rules of the game. And I think there's a lot of synergy in such visions, because you see brands like Bugatti redefining the entire automotive industry through a very clear brand philosophy, through iconic design, through unprecedented and unparalleled performance. And I think that's exactly what Binghatti is trying to achieve in the real estate industry. Today, Dubai has become an international hub for innovation and creativity. Dubai has become a safe haven for people to enjoy their wealth, for people to invest in, for people to live and work in. And I believe this lends itself to the prudent vision that the leadership of the United Arab Emirates and Dubai have provided for such a magnificent city.
Well, you should think about what we are doing with our cars. It's basically being visionary and being bold. And who is more bold and visionary than Dubai? What has happened there over the last decades is incredible. So combined with this very visionary approach for innovation, but also for luxury, we believe it's the perfect place for us to start.
We had hours and hours of conversations on how to bring the French Riviera in the heart of Dubai. Thinking of how to emulate this experience through things or senses like visual senses, touch, smell. You know, we even got to the extent of discussing what sort of landscape and what sort of flora and fauna we use within the project to bring in this French Riviera heritage into the project and to really build an authentic experience for the users of the project. It was very important for us to build something that is completely incomparable with all the surroundings.
They are very much in line with our vision and our approach. And Binghatti, and especially the CEO, Mohammed Binghatti, have a very good appreciation for automotive design, for luxury, and how to apply that to real estate. Binghatti and Bugatti share the same values, bringing perfection to the project to create an architecture icon that will bring also the feeling of French luxury and the French Riviera to the heart of Dubai in the Middle East.
Developing the architectural language of the exterior, the organic contours and the infinite fluidity and the forces that express themselves on the exterior facade, while reflecting a very similar spirit within the interiors and building this incomparable exotic feel, one that you would experience in a resort.
When we first started to work on the design of the building, we wanted to make sure it's not a literal translation of some design elements of Bugatti cars into the building. We wanted to reflect Bugatti design DNA in the contours and lines and in the organic form of the building.
We were obsessed with this idea because we wanted to create an incomparable experience in the heart of the city, one that is so exotic, one that is so evocative for all people entering the project.
As Ettore said, if comparable, it's no longer Bugatti. And that's exactly what we want to apply also to Bugatti Residences, making it truly unique and Bugatti.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to welcome on stage two visionary entrepreneurs, two giants in their respective industries. Mohammed Binghatti, whose dedication to architectural excellence, technological innovation, and iconic design has shaped the skyline of Dubai, and Mate Rimac, the driving force behind Bugatti Rimac, a brand that has redefined automated engineering, luxury, and speed. Please join us in welcoming Mohammed Binghatti and Mate Rimac.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سيداتي، آنساتي، سادتي، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته، وأهلا بكم جميعا في هذا الحدث العظيم الذي سيسجل في التاريخ. وأود أن أبدأ بحمد الله وشكره والثناء عليه، حيث أننا لم نكن لنصل لما وصلنا إليه اليوم لولا فضل الله علينا. وحقيقة أنا اخترت أن أبدأ اليوم باللغة العربية لغاية في نفسي، غاية مقترنة في رؤية بنغاطي منذ الصغر، رؤيتي أنا منذ أن كنت صغير. وكنت أنا دائما يوم أسافر وأخرج أنظر إلى قطاعات مختلفة، أنظر إلى الماركات العالمية من جميع القطاعات، أنظر إلى قطاع الأزياء والماركات من قطاع الساعات والسيارات الفارهة. وكنت ألاحظ أن كثير من هذه الماركات العالمية العريقة كانت تحمل اسم مؤسسيها. فكان حلمي أن بنغاطي في يوم من الأيام تسمو لتكون علامة وماركة عالمية إماراتية عربية. واليوم بفضل من الله تعالى أنا أقدر أقول أن بوجود علامة عريقة مثل بوغاتي الحمد لله وصلنا لتحقيق هذا الهدف. وأود أن أهدي هذا النجاح إلى سيدي وقائدي ومعلمي والمدرسة الريادية، سيدي صاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم، نائب رئيس الدولة رئيس مجلس الوزراء حاكم دبي، حفظه الله ورعاه. وأود من هذا المنبر أن أؤكد أننا كشباب عربي في دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة وفي دبي دار الإبداع والتميز نستطيع أن نقدم ما هو الأفضل والأبدع والأحدث والأجمل. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all today on this auspicious occasion. Tonight's occasion features a reveal that is very special and by all means profoundly incomparable. Tonight, Binghatti and Bugatti collaborate to bring you a phenomenal hyperform that depicts sheer architectural prowess in the heart of Dubai. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bugatti Residences by Binghatti. I leave you in the hands of my colleague and my friend Mate Rimac, CEO of Bugatti.
Thanks so much, Mohammed. Good evening, dear ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mate Rimac. I'm the founder and CEO of the Rimac Group and CEO of Bugatti Rimac. And today, proudly representing Bugatti here. Tonight, we are going to reveal something very special for you like Mohammed has briefly described. It's going to be a first for Bugatti and an important milestone in our history. Tonight with us here, we have a lot of important people. Maybe to mention some of my colleagues from from Bugatti. So we have Christophe Piachon, the president of Bugatti Automobiles and chief operations officer of Bugatti Rimac. We have Henrik Malinovsky, who is the managing director of Bugatti Automobiles and the commercial director for Bugatti Rimac. Wiebke Stahl, the managing director of Bugatti International, which is our licensing arm and responsible for collaborations with other brands like Binghatti, including this project we are going to discuss here. We have Kostas Passaris, who is the regional director for Asia and Middle East and the resident of Dubai. Bodo Philipp, responsible for our German operations, and many other colleagues from Bugatti from all around Europe who are responsible for what Bugatti is today. Tonight we are going to show something very special. A first Bugatti Residence project, the first in the world. But before we do that, I would like to ask Mohammed to explain us how everything started and how we got here.
Thank you very much, Matti. So, it was a sunny afternoon in the summer of 2006 when my family and I were on holiday in Europe. We were walking along the streets as we spotted this beautiful Bugatti Veyron, which happened to be passing across the street. And I still so vividly remember how its meticulously sculpted bodywork glistened under the sun as it slowly drove by. Everyone on that street was talking about it. I remember looking at my father and asking him, "How much do you reckon a car like this would cost?" He replied, "A couple of $1 million. To which I replied, being the young teenager I was back then, "How come someone would spend so much on a car?" To which he replied, "Because it's a brand and there's nothing like it." Today, almost 20 years later, it is this logic that I like to stress when I refer to Binghatti as being a brand rather than merely a real estate developer. And this is exactly the vision that Binghatti set off to explore. Since our inception, our ultimate goal has been to defy the conventional by building an authentic brand identity guided by a rooted design philosophy. And this is exactly the approach that the automotive industry has established for centuries. Today, almost 20 years later, there is nothing that feels as good than to be standing next to Bugatti and celebrating this. I always felt the real estate industry had so much more to offer than its conventional, commercially driven approach worldwide. And I always thought to myself, how can we emulate the same experience that I and everyone else on the street felt 20 years ago? And this is exactly the realization of this vision. Today is the realization of this vision. When brands such as Binghatti and Bugatti collaborate, one can only expect the incomparable. And indeed, today's reveal defies all that is comparable. For centuries, Bugatti has consistently conceived the incomparable. And tonight, two power brands collaborate to translate that narrative into the real estate world. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we bring to you an architectural tour de force that carries upon its shoulder a story of exotic heritage. Thank you very much.
It's really interesting to listen to your story about your first encounter with Bugatti, Mohammed, Because I have a very similar story to tell, actually. I was 16 years old, so 20 years ago. My parents took me to Berlin, and by coincidence, I saw the very first Bugatti Veyron prototype. I was obsessed with cars all my life, and still I am today. And I remember very vividly how blown away I was with what that car represented and what it was. It was already back then a very historic brand, but the brand that needed revival. It was on a bold mission to be revived at that time by the CEO of Volkswagen, Ferdinand Piëch. And what fascinates me today is understanding what happened at that time. He gave a one-sentence mission to his team. It has to be the best car in the world. It has to go 400 kilometers per hour, the first road car in the world to do that. And it has to take his wife and himself to an opera in the same day. It's one sentence, but it had such a big impact. It was repeated so many times over the decades to come by hundreds and thousands of people because that was the guiding principle. For example, you knew that you could not just take a race car and make it into a road car because yes, it had to have a lot of performance, but also it had to be comfortable. It had to have great aerodynamics, but it had to be beautiful. It had to be optimized for very high speed, but it had to have space, it had to be spacious. So that one sentence was guiding all of that in so many fields. Another example that's over 100 years old comes from our founder, Ettore Bugatti. He said, if comparable, it's no longer Bugatti. If comparable, it's no longer Bugatti. And even today, 100 years later, whenever we veer off course, we remember that sentence and it gets us back to the right path. And I find it incredible how much impact that has. So those are just two examples of our history of vision and leadership and legends, these two legends that have led us to be here where we are today. So Bugatti today is one of the world's most iconic brands, a 114-year-old brand still setting the standards for most of the industry. And trust me when I say, we don't plan to settle for anything less in the future. Remembering the moment 20 years ago in Berlin, it feels unreal for me to stand here in front of all of you and to represent the Bugatti brand. It's just mind-blowing for me. I still, cannot imagine it sometimes. But I also like to say that the brand is so much bigger than us, each of us individually and all of us together. We are nothing more than mere gatekeepers, than mere custodians of the brand, keeping it alive and taking very good care of it for the next generation to come. We are thinking 100 years back, but also 100 years up front. Making a residence project like we are doing here today is a first for Bugatti. But be sure that we will apply all of our principles, all of our care to bring the utmost and best to the market, just like with our cars. The best of the best and incomparable.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, not only do we celebrate a remarkable project, but also the legacy that this project carries with it. In its world-class architectural finesse, Bugatti Residences by Binghatti conveys the values that the founding fathers of the brands preached for decades. When one admires a Bugatti and when one looks at a Bugatti, it is completely incomparable. And the design-led charisma at Binghatti, paired with the entrepreneurially savvy culture, reflects our commitment to always echo the views and values of our founding father of the family, Gatti. And that's where the family name comes from. Binghatti, son of Gatti. Gatti was a wise Arabian merchant, and he was known for his wise saying, إذا ما كنت راس تراك ذيل. If you are not a head, then you are most certainly a tail. His son, Hussein Binghatti, echoed the wisdom of his father. And he is known for his saying, أنا متنافس دائما مع ظلي. أنا متنافس دائما مع ظلي. I am in a constant race with my own shadow. And it is this erudite wisdom that has fueled the Binghatti vision until today. And today, as we launch a remarkable project, we revive the spirit of the founding fathers of the brand, and we remember our motto, Binghatti only competes with Binghatti.
Thinking about Bugatti, it is so much more than just our range of hypercars. It is a feeling. When you own or drive a Bugatti, it is a feeling for the perfection and the best of what humanity can offer in styling, design, craftsmanship, performance and quality. Ettore Bugatti lived by his principles in everything he did in his life. He went so far that he didn't like many things that surrounded them, so he designed them himself. He made his own pasta machine, his own cutlery. He made his own bicycle, even his own shoes. He has created an experience for his guests, friends and customers in the Chateau of Saint John in Molsheim that was so appraised by the high society at that point. They all loved that experience. And we are to this day curating that experience to our guests in the same chateau, in the same location in Molsheim. And that is something that we wanted to bring to Dubai. That authentic magic of Molsheim, and I invite you to experience it one time yourself. It's such a special place, and we want to translate that to other locations and make it available to more people, and that's what we are trying to achieve with Bugatti Residences. And we are doing the first project in Dubai. So why Dubai? I must say I have incredible admiration for what was achieved here, especially as an entrepreneur. I remember all the naysayers. Everybody can criticize, that's easy. It's impossible to become a post-oil nation or a post-oil economy. It's difficult to develop a new economy. This will never work. You heard all of that. I was also 15, 16 years ago for the first time in Dubai, and I remember how much progress was made in the last 20 years. It's truly astonishing, and it comes from my heart when I say congratulations to all of you and the leadership that was so bold and visionary to take it through despite all the naysayers. So Dubai is the epitome of vision, long-term thinking and execution. And that combines very well with our values. On top of that, it's becoming more and more a home for our customers, for Bugatti owners, who are not only buying real estate here, they are moving here, moving their center of life here, moving their families here, and their car collections. We have some of the world's biggest Bugatti collectors who are moving to Dubai. Same thing with other ultra-high net worth individuals and high net worth individuals from around the world who can go anywhere in the world, but they choose to come to Dubai, which is a very good sign for us also that this is not some kind of real estate bubble, but it's here to stay and here to develop because people are moving here because they love living here. And then on top of that, we have our great partners, Binghatti, and especially Mohammed Binghatti, who was from day one a perfect match for us, especially because he understood what automotive design and quality means and how to translate that into real estate. So we are working very closely to translate the magic of Molsheim, the French Riviera, French luxury, into the heart of Dubai.
Thank you very much, Matti. That was remarkable. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, welcome to Bugatti Residences by Binghatti.